Thanks so much for joining us today at the Melrose Elementary School, and thank you for allowing us to be here. Really an honor for us. We're so pleased to be here for the ribbon cutting ceremony of the MAST STEM Technology Center. The Cal Ripken Senior Foundation works across America seeking to help provide life opportunities for young people. And the area of STEM and technology, of course, is one of those areas in which we try and provide these opportunities. Our focus is on kids who could use a little extra help, a guiding hand, who in some communities have been left behind and aren't offered these opportunities. And that's the gap that we try and fill, and those are the types of people we try and partner with. Recently, a gentleman by the name of Dan Schwab. Dan is, where are you, Dan? Just raise your hand. Over there, hiding in the back there. Dan, I didn't even say anything yet. You're all clapping. Dan joined our board of directors. He's president of D&H Distributing Company right here in Harrisburg. Shortly after joining the board, Dan talked to us about his interest in technology centers and asked if we would work with him on this initiative, and of course we said yes. We can't think of a better place to launch the first center than here in Harrisburg at the Melrose Elementary School, where Dan, his wife Patty, are you back there? There she is. And his children Madison, Alexa, and Sammy have been personally involved. I'd like to introduce or recognize some of the VIPs we have here, if we could acknowledge them and thank them for being here. First of all, Matthew Stem, and that name is perfect, Deputy Secretary of Education for the state of Pennsylvania. Thank you, Matthew. Where are you? There he is. Thank you. And that's really your last name. Your mayor, Eric Pappenfuse. Mayor, where are you? Hello. There he is. Thank you, Mayor. The principal of the Melrose School, Winsome Park. Thank you, Principal. Principal of Central Dauphin High School, Ron Porter. Where are you, Ron? There he is in back. Chris Hunter, Athletic Director at the Central Dauphin High School. Chris, where are you? Thank you. Mickey Turman, Principal of the Lingelstown Middle School. Where are you, Principal? Thank you. And Marissa Hoover from Penn State University, Harrisburg. Where are you, Marissa? Thank you very much. Thank you again all for joining us. I'd like to officially get this started and ask the Harrisburg City School Superintendent, Dr. Sybil Knight Burney, to come up and say a few words.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome again. It's another great day for education and learning in the Harrisburg School District, and I am just so very excited. On behalf of the Harrisburg School District and our school board of directors, I am pleased to welcome our special guest, Baseball Hall of Famer and Chairman of the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation, Mr. Cal Ripken Jr. I am also pleased to welcome our STEM Center student teacher creators, Mrs. Tina Klotzbeecher and Maddie, Alexa, Sammy, and their parents, Dan and Patty. I also want to welcome all of our dignitaries, our partners, our staff and students to this wonderful ribbon cutting ceremony for the MAST STEM Technology Center at Melrose Elementary School. At this time, I'd also like to recognize our school board of director. Our vice president is here, Mr. James Thompson. Our district STEM coordinator, Mrs. Cheryl Capozzoli. And our public relations coordinator, Mrs. Kirsten Keys. And our director of special education, Ms. Yolanda Goodwin-Humphrey. As an educator, I believe, as I'm sure that all of you believe, that children truly are our nation's greatest asset. And now more than ever, it is critically important that we lay a strong educational foundation that emphasizes the importance of STEM education pre-K through 12. As superintendent for these past 5 years, I and the leadership of the Harrisburg School District have made a firm commitment to develop a strong, innovative, and sustainable STEM education program, one where highly qualified administrators and teachers, like Ms. Klotzbecher and others, work together to implement best practices in 21st century science, technology, engineering, and math education. Thanks to all the collaborators, the technical assistance, and funding from our organizations such as Discovery Education, Pinnacle Health System, Hershey Foods, the Harrisburg Public Schools Foundation, the Foundation for Enhancing Communities, Harrisburg University of Science and Technology, the Pennsylvania Department of Education, and now we are very proud to be partners with the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation. You can applaud for that. And because of the Ripken Foundation, our students will have access to amazing STEM learning solutions and experiences that inspire intellectual creativity, promotes a highly rigorous and purposeful integrated STEM culture, and helps students achieve and dream big in the world of science. As an educator, I am confident that the MAST STEM Technology Center at Melrose Elementary School will be the launch pad for sustained academic success and lifelong learning. Thank you again, Mr. Ripken. I'm so nervous because you're so awesome. I'm like, yes, let's take more pictures. And the foundation, incredible foundation, for investing in our future. Because here in the Harrisburg School District, in case you didn't know, we are growing greatness, one student at a time. Thank you all for this wonderful opportunity to be here today, and may we continue to build upon this success. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Superintendent. A few other people I want to recognize. The Executive Vice President of the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation, Joe Rossow. Joe joined us recently, a former principal and assistant superintendent from Minneapolis, so we really are committed to education. Travis Punt in the back of the room next to him is our Senior Director of Programming. Thank you, Travis. From Ripken Baseball, Glenn Vallis is here, Senior Vice President of Ripken Baseball. And John Maroon from Maroon PR. John, where are you? Thank you, John, wherever you are. Now, the superintendent said that Cal was the chairman of the board. That is false. Don't write that down. The chairman of the board is a guy named Mark Butler. Mark, also a huge Harrisburg presence. He's the chairman of our board. He's a wonderful guy. Many of you probably know him, and you know the things he's done in Harrisburg. Right up the road from here at Yvonne's Boys and Girls Club, and say hello to Yvonne Hollins, the head of the Boys and Girls Club here in Harrisburg. And you were a superintendent also, or a principal? Assistant superintendent. It's good to see you, Yvonne. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you so much.
Right up the road at Yvonne's Boys and Girls Club is the Mark and Betty Butler Field, which is a beautiful $1.1 million park for the kids at the Boys and Girls Club. So and many of you know that. You know what he's done in Harrisburg and the greater Harrisburg area, but what you may not know is that he's done the same thing all across America. He's an incredible guy. You have a real treasure in him here in Harrisburg. You're lucky to have him. Please welcome our board chairman, Mark Butler.
Wow, thank you very much. Don't be nervous with Cal. He's not that impressive, actually. It's a thrill and an honor to be able to be here again today and speak to you about the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. When approached to be involved with the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation probably about 8 years ago, and Steve and a gentleman by the name of Robbie Calloway and Billy and Cal Ripken were recruiting and trying to build the board of directors at the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation, I said one thing that, if we're going to be involved, I want it to affect Harrisburg. And I got to tell you that 100% these guys have lived up to their word, and they are absolutely very, very active, and it's just a thrill and an honor to be able to have another program be started here in our city of Harrisburg. I have to tell you, it's just tremendous congratulations to the entire Schwab family. I mean, this is big time. When I recruited Dan to be on the board of directors of the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation, he thought about it for about 10 seconds, and he said, if you're involved, I'm involved. And then the next call was to Steve, and he says, how can I help? And that just speaks what the Schwab family does, how they act, and how they treat and how they think about Harrisburg. So an enormous thank you to the Schwab family. The field, we normally do these youth development parks all over the country. We have, as you see here up at the Boys and Girls Club, which my girl Yvonne is large and in charge. But we have 60 of those fields all over the United States of America, with 10 to 12 of them under construction now. So and Cal will talk to you about this, how they affect the communities and what they do for the children. And to paraphrase Billy, it's not about making Major League Baseball players, it's about giving kids a safe place to play. Now we also give them a place to learn. So congratulations, Superintendent. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor. You should be proud. Great job. And on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. And now it's really a pleasure to call up the real stars for today. The STEM Center is called MAST. And some of you, I'm sure, like I was, well, what does that stand for? It stands for Madison, Alexa, Sammy, and Tina. I almost pointed to Madison again. So that's what the MAST Center stands for, and it's my pleasure to introduce them. Will you four come up and maybe share a few words? They've been so involved in this program, this initiative. When Dan joined us, he said, here's what my kids have been doing. Is there a way to tie it into what the Ripken Foundation is doing? I said, Dan, it's perfect. It's what we've been trying to do. So we're honored to be partnering with you guys. Thanks for paving the way for us. Come on up here.
Wow. Many of you know me. I don't like the attention. I try to be in the corner somewhere. So to stand up here, Maddie and I are a mess. I couldn't prepare a speech because I would keep myself up all night. Cal Ripken, thank you. Foundation, thank you. What many of you don't know, and you hear in the media, is how horrible Harrisburg is. And I came through as a student. I've taught here for 25 years. I have walked these halls like I'm the celebrity because they love this place. Miss K, Miss K, Miss K, do we have you today? Miss K. And over the years, we have graduated students from Princeton, Harvard, Duke. We just graduated one last year for MIT. We have these students here in our school district. And STEM is a place where the student who can't read, we have a little fellow, he can't read, he is a third grader. But if I brought him in here, he could tell you everything about the earth, how plate tectonic works, the whole 9 yards, because it was all hands-on, interactive, and spectacular. What teacher doesn't want to come here every day? I love it. Happy, you're a celebrity. Fortunately, not like Mr. Ripken, because I definitely couldn't handle that. I can talk in front of 200 kids, but not grown adults. But with the Schwabs, Patty approached me and said, would I be interested? And I was like, okay. Not knowing it would be this great and this wonderful. And we thank you from the bottom of our heart. My students thank you. Many of you have spoken to them going throughout. They've learned so much just in the little bit of time it's been open. And if I brought a whole class in, you'd get the same from the rest of them. So with that, I'm going to introduce the Schwabs. Thank you, Schwabs. I love you. You're the best. Mr. Ripken, the foundation, thank you.
I'm very familiar with the Ripken Foundation and all they do. I'm probably the #1 fan next to Mark Butler. I do know that I'm very lucky to have the opportunity to participate in after-school sports, to have the equipment I need, and the fields to play on. When I was little, because I'm huge now, I did not think about those facts. I did not think that there are kids that can't play baseball because they're only surrounded by cement and no grass, and they don't have the baseball mitts to play with. The mission of the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation was something that I always think about. It says that it was always build character. I understand how important character is through volunteering and giving back. Cal Ripken is an amazing role model for me and many others, and we're so honored that Melrose School and other schools now have the opportunity to live up to those standards.
I love tutoring here. When Tina allowed us to volunteer, I had no idea the passion I would have for the kids, but even more importantly, visit after visit after visit. I couldn't believe the difference we were making. I became so inspired and so determined to help out. I never imagined that I would come to this, but boy, am I grateful the Cal Foundation understood what was happening here at Melrose and invested all over the country for our youth. I am determined to become a teacher and make a difference in education one day. Teachers like Tina inspire me. I still don't want to admit that something great has happened because I get embarrassed, but looking around the room, I'm guessing it's kind of a big deal.
Obviously, the three of us needed support, and I want to thank the educators of Central Dauphin High School. They truly understand that education happens in the classroom and in the community. My guidance counselors, principals, and teachers see no color, boundaries, race, or religion. They only see opportunity, character building, and life lessons. For the past 4 years, my brother, sister, and I have gone up on every snow day, in-service day, 2-hour delay, or vacation day that we've had when all the rest of our friends slept in. We have come to the school and volunteered, and we consider ourselves the lucky ones. Every visit we could come, we did. We canceled whatever plans we had, and we came here to teach, to learn, and to build character. The students at this school became so special to me. Thank you all for coming today to the ribbon cutting at the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation MAST STEM Center.
Thank you, Madison, Alexa, Sammy, and Tina. I mean, this is what it's all about. We're just trying to follow their lead, honestly. And to help close this out and to express his thanks as well, please welcome the Iron Man, Cal Ripken Jr.
Not the chairman, but the Iron Man, I suppose. No, I'm really happy and pleased to be here. I guess my job is to give a little context to how this all started and really the meaning from why we're here. When I lost Dad to lung cancer, he was only 63 years old, and Brother Billy and I decided to sit down and try to figure out what was Dad's legacy of his life. I mean, yes, he was in professional baseball, which seemed like forever, but his real passion was helping kids. And we can define kids, you know, in the early parts of his life and helping kids who played baseball try to get to the big leagues. And he did that by being a father figure to them and helping them, teach them the way to play the game and kind of move up. But he also used baseball to go out into the communities and get in front of kids that didn't have all the same advantages. And many of the kids that he really liked to target was kids that didn't have a father influence. And I don't know if I can fully figure that out. My dad lost his dad when he was 10. And so he felt that there was a need, and he could fulfill that need, and he did, you know, in the Oriole organization and also out in the communities. But he would have these free clinics. And really, he would use baseball to get your attention. And then he'd pull you in and start to give you advice on how to handle things and create mentorships with people around the area. And it was really true one-on-one interaction. So Billy and I decided to start the foundation in his name to really use baseball to help kids. And it's really a simple concept, and sports is a real valuable a way to deliver lessons. I think a lot of us try to understand concepts and principles through sports, and we've had a lot of success doing that. As Brother Billy would say, we're not trying to find big league players, and maybe we will. One or two might sneak out of this. But what we're trying to do is give them a direction, provide them with some hope, And we call our outdoor fields, outdoor classrooms, youth development ballparks. We started our programming and we were reaching a lot of kids, but we found out that they needed safe places to play. And so we started to build these outdoor classrooms, which is in the form of youth development parks. And they've been transformational. They've been protected by the communities because they're so darn nice. The kids get a chance and they get an opportunity and they can choose the direction in which they want to go. This today is just an extension of our ability to help kids. Now we're in the classroom. I was a math guy, and I guess because I needed to figure out my batting average or my ERA or whatever the important stats are. And if you're in baseball now, really got to be a math guy to get into pro sports. But I always valued education, and many people who have good baseball players kind of come to me for advice. What do I do? Do I go to college or do I go straight into pro ball if I get drafted? And my advice is always you got to make that decision yourself, but you want to value your education. Your education lives with you forever. In many cases, the people want to get into baseball and play right away. I said, well, make sure you have your education paid for by so you can start your career. If you don't make it in baseball, you can start, learning again. But most of the people go to college first, and they get their education and develop as a baseball player along the way. So education is important. We couldn't be happier to be involved in bringing learning into a dynamic place inside. Kids are really almost an empty blank piece of paper sometimes, and they're recording stuff all the time and they're learning stuff all the time. I mean, you get so excited, their optimism and what they learn. And if you can bring that to the table early enough, you can lay a base down for their opportunities in life. And so we're really proud to be getting into the classroom and looking for other ways where we can help kids and extend our help where they can make good choices and be good citizens. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cal. Can we have one more round of applause for the entire Schwab family? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you, everybody.
To the incredible Schwab family and to everyone here, I did bring a proclamation on the part of the city of Harrisburg proclaiming today MAST STEM Center Day in the city of Harrisburg. And I think, Tina, I'll give it to you, and maybe we can put it in the classroom to inspire others. But thank you for letting me be a part.